Hello, my name is Angela Meehan, and this is my oral history project for APA 200. And I am interviewing my uncle, Casildo Meehan. Uncle, could you restate your name, your age, and tell us a little about yourself?
My name is Casildo Meehan. I'm 46 years old, and I have lived in the U.S. since 1978. So that very much tells you how long I've been here. And now I'm working at Coventry Healthcare with my wife, Jamie.
And your racial ethnic background?
I'm a Filipino,
Okay.
naturalized citizen in the U.S., Filipino American.
Alrighty. And I'll get into the questions.
Okay.
Okay, so I know your father died when you were a baby, so you don't really remember. You don't even remember him, right? So
No, I don't remember him.
So
Just in
you,
pictures,
yeah. So you grew up without a father for
pretty much.
most of your
Mhm.
childhood.
Yeah.
So how did you feel like you ever missed out on anything by not having a dad growing up?
Of course, and you always miss out the fun you have with your dad growing up, and just having a simple talk with him, and he would play games with you as a kid, and just simply the bonding part of it, you kind of miss that out, but you just have to do your best. But anyway, I was brought up pretty well under my grandmother first, and then my mom. Both of them were very loving towards me, so it was all good. It turned out good anyway, but I still miss having a dad, of course.
Alright. How much of a culture shock was it growing up in the Philippines till you're 12, then all of a sudden moving to America, at the age of 12, like a completely different country? What was that like?
Oh, it was a shock because I live in a part of the Philippines mostly where there's not that much what you call that.
Urban life?
Urban life, yeah. It was more like in the mountains. I mean, not like in the mountains, in Barrio Cansantic, and it's so different because life there is so simple, and people live simple lives, and I literally walk to school every day, and it was a lot of fun, and it was a shock to leave my classmates and whom I get to know, and then I've been good friends with them now. To go to this country where everybody's a stranger, and I have to speak English. I mean, English to me was just a class in school. I had like B average or something, and now I had to practice it, and it was a shock. And it takes time to get used to, and but it was good, and I noticed life in America was a lot better. I was kind of had fun with the food in the cafeteria, but it was different, being an Asian sitting in a classroom full of mostly white people speaking their language,
Oh, wow.
At least I was glad at least that they were very friendly towards me, and after a while I got used to it.
Mm-hmm. So that's really different, because you
Yeah.
grew up speaking Filipino, so everyone who looks like you, and then you're
Yeah.
in a completely different country where everyone's you have to learn about someone else's culture and
Yeah.
start assimilate to their language and stuff.
Mhm.
What was it like growing up without a dad to all of a sudden having an American stepfather adopt you? That must have been really different.
It's different, and of course I grew up under my grandmother, of course, and then my mom was already here afterwards, my grandmother and my mom, so having a stepdad suddenly, it's so different because my stepdad was not just any ordinary stepdad. He was a strict disciplinarian type, and he would yell at me if I did something wrong. But at the same time, he was a caring person. He always had everything in order. He always likes to plan ahead, and I like to think I learned a little bit from him too, and but it was different. It never really felt like he was my dad because it's so different to having a biological dad. I respected him, but it didn't feel like a real dad. But anyway, we had a good relationship anyway.
Were you close with him, or did you just respect him because he was?
Yeah, I respected him, but I never really have a close bonding with him.
You're just more of an authoritative figure.
It maybe have something to do with the fact that he's an authoritarian type, and I'm kind of like, scared of that, Yeah.
Uncle.
Yeah. So,
Understandable. Alright. Did you find it more easy or difficult to assimilate with your American peers in school? When you started going to an American school, did you find it easy to fit in with your peers, your American peers?
They made it easy for me. They were so friendly. They introduced themselves and hi, my name is this and that, and of course I had to speak English and say, hi, my name is Casildo from the Philippines. And they were so curious and they were wanting to know everything about me, and they made it easy for me. And of course at that time I went to a small school, which helped a lot too, because you get to know everybody kind of, who your classmates are.
This is middle school you're talking about?
Yeah, middle school.
Which middle school did you go to?
Grandview School.
Grandview
School. I think used to be in Osborne somewhere.
Which is now Osborne Middle School. Or
yeah.
Okay.
So,
how did you feel about your peers in the military when you joined the U.S. military? This was after high school when you joined the military?
Yeah, I joined immediately after high school. And I was kind of worried because the military is so different. And of course, they yell at you from the moment you get to the bus, and then when you get to the base itself. I mean, I had the worst bus driver ever because he yelled at us, all of us, and then told us, get off the bus, and then we got into the base, and I heard all these people marching all around. I couldn't sleep because they were so noisy, marching back and forth. And it was tough to get used to, and everybody was kind of joking with me. I'm not used to this kind of locker room type of jokes. I'm not used to that, and I kind of get offended. But then they were shocked, and I get offended. And they think, at first, they thought, don't you like black people or something? But it's not that. It's just that I'm kind of not used to that kind of locker room type jokes, and they would make fun of you, but they don't really mean it. It's kind of like that
bro type of humor.
Yeah. So.
Like.
But eventually I got kind of used to it, so it takes a while.
So is this where you had more interaction with black people?
Yeah, I had some black people, and later on I met an Asian guy. He's a Korean, and he also worked on our base. And
was he from Korea or was he American born?
He had an accent. I figure he must have been from Korea initially, just like me. He must have been in his country, Korea, initially, and then came here later on. So.
Did you find it easier to befriend him because you had similar cultures, or did you just think of him as you thought of the other people in the military?
He was a friendly guy, so it was easier for me to get to know him, be friends with him, and everything.
Okay. How about like the white guys and the black guys in the military? Did you ever?
Yeah, it was different. I kind of sat with them to talk to them, things like that. But once in a while I would hang out. I would get invited to their house, and then they would have to a party, and then I'm not used to it because I don't have too many friends. Of course, I'm not used to going to somebody's house to have a party or something. So kind of. But it's good that they do that. They interview me. It's good that they get to know me and everything.
That's cool. So how was your overall experience serving in the U.S. Army in Louisiana? Because you were stationed in Louisiana, right?
It was fun. I like Louisiana. It's kind of like the Philippines. It's kind of like humid, but and it was good. getting away and being on my own kind of, and I get to, spend my money, whatever I want.
Be independent for a
Yeah,
little
buy
bit.
food, buy whatever, and it was fun, and it was great.
It was your first introduction to adult independence.
Oh yeah, it's the first time, introduction to adulthood, I guess.
And then, all right. So, who were your inspirations and role models growing up?
Growing up, I didn't really have too many role models. Mainly my uncles, they always seem to have, they're so hardworking and they're all smart. It seems to be all doing well. I mean, I look up to them and they helped to raise me. So I didn't have a dad, but I always had my uncles coming over to visit and they would tell me, Casildo do this and they would discipline me too. So they all kind of like my role models.
Cool. So you said that your uncles were your role models growing up. Did you have any celebrities that you looked up to?
Celebrities at that time, maybe not.
No.
Not really. No, nobody in the media.
Did you find it harder to have a role model or like somebody to look up to because there weren't as many Asian American public figures?
That could be. Now that you mention it, it's, of course, that's because I'm a fan. Of course, somebody like Bruce Lee, because you look at him, everybody recognizes him, even people that are racist, they know him, Bruce Lee, because he's so great, karate. So anyway, I'm kind of proud of him. I guess he's kind of like one of the people I admire.
Yeah. So Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Okay. And then going back to, well, not really going back, kind of diving into this, did you ever hear comments or opinions from people you knew growing up in America that you thought were prejudiced, racist, or alienating towards Asian Americans?
My only experience is I had an experience in school, in middle school, and also in the army. About the same thing, it's this one student in middle school, he brought up something about World War II. He thought I was Japanese, so he thought, oh man, you guys are really rough on us there, took us by surprise. And then I told him, no, I'm not Japanese, I'm Filipino.
Another case of mistaken
Yeah,
identity.
and it's the same thing with the army. He mentioned World War II also, and he mentioned about Pearl Harbor also, and I told him, hey, I'm American, and I'm not Japanese, I'm Filipino.
Did they sound like they were serious about their comments, or were they just joking with you?
It's hard to tell if they're joking or not, because they had a serious face. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. So I figured there would be some racism because in the army you always have people from all backgrounds coming in, so you always have to. I always felt like I had to have my guard up because you never know who these people are. Some could be racist. You just don't know it, You just have to be nice to everybody, which I was, And,
But you always had your guard up.
yeah.
So it was kind of hard for you to get close to people?
It was kind of hard, but I had some friends there, and there were some people good to me, and I got to be friends with them and stuff.
How has Phoenix, Arizona changed today since the first time you stepped foot here in 1978?
Oh man, that's a long time ago, and Phoenix is I think it's a lot smaller then. It's gotten, I'd like to think it's a lot better because, not that many things, not many crimes, not many everything. It's good now, it's better when it comes to opportunities. It's a big city, of course, more jobs, and it's prettier. You can go out, do more things, more restaurants, and more movie theaters and malls.
There's a light rail.
And now, back then, it seems the life is a lot simpler. It's like living in a small town, Yeah. Other than that, it's okay. I mean, right now it's okay. So.
Do you think the Asian American population has bloomed
Oh
in
yeah.
Arizona? Do you see a lot more Asians than back then?
Oh yeah, definitely, especially Filipinos. I've seen a lot more Filipinos now. Before you could barely see a Filipino. Now you almost meet one in stores, wherever you go.
Around here?
Yeah.
Okay. What were some of your childhood goals and ambitions?
My childhood goal. At that time, didn't really know what to do with my life, and actually when growing up in Philippines, it was my dream to be in the army, but of course, because I didn't realize I was going to become to America and be in the army, so
You got to do that.
I got to do that at least and experience it, 4 years. So.
Is your life now just as you had envisioned when you were younger, or is it like way different than you thought it would be?
It was a lot different than I thought it would be, because growing up I didn't really have like a girlfriend or anything, and I didn't realize I'd be married. So I thought I'd be like one of those people who are single, Now I'm married, so
Yay.
it's different. Now I'm in my own house with my wife, so
That's good.
Everything turned out well.
Yay. All right, couple more questions. So, growing up, you said that you mostly went to school with Caucasian students. Did you ever encounter any Asian peers? Like, did you see people of other ethnic groups in your classes, or was it mostly white people?
Maybe there's in my class at least there's like one black person at least, and then maybe Mexican. There were not that many Mexicans at that time, at least in that school.
Times have changed.
Yeah. Gradually they became more. When I was in high school, there's a lot more Hispanics.
When you were in high school, there was more Hispanics?
A little bit more, and not as many blacks. A little more Asians. I started to see Asians, and I was more Asian when I was in high school, so that was good.
Was there, from your point of view, did you notice any like racial tension among anybody, or was it everyone just pretty much got along?
At that time, the people, this is kids, I guess. It's nothing to do with maybe racial, but I always hear about fight between the Mexicans and the blacks or something, but I've never actually seen it. So I guess not that much tension, I guess.
That's good.
Yeah.
Did any of the Asian students you befriended ever tell you anything like racist or prejudice that happened to them, or anything discriminatory?
Not that I know of. The Asian friends I had in school they seem to have a good life in America. So they seem to be brought up in good families with working parents. So far, I didn't heard anything different from them.
So everyone got along.
Yeah.
All right. And final question: how do you feel about your ethnic identity, and where do you see yourself in American society as a whole? How do you feel about your ethnic identity?
Let me see.
What does it mean to you to be Filipino American?
I feel it's an advantage always in America, because it's a strength of America to have all these cultures, to have all these languages, and this is part of the reason why that makes America strong, because you have Mexicans, you have Filipinos, Asians, and people from all over the world. It's a strength.
Everyone has something to contribute.
Yeah, everyone has something to contribute. So as long as you never forget your culture and even your language of origin, and it becomes a strength for America.
Yep. Anything else you want to add that you haven't said already?
I'm glad I'm here in America. Life is better and everything, and I have no regrets. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Uncle, for doing this interview.